Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Carranza, and I am the founder of Transformation Through Reunification. I am also a victim of CPS. I had my daughter illegally seized without a warrant based on false accusations. I am now a court certified expert witness in reunification, an advocate, a motivational speaker, uh, an author. I have books coming out this year. And it's all thanks to my friend here, Cynthia. She was the very first person that interviewed me. And it was December 19th, 2020, which was my birthday,
That's right.
my 40th birthday. And after my interview, I was like, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. So I was like, most of you probably know her from other shows that we've done in the past, and she's in the same field, but this is Cynthia.
Hi, and thank you, Erin, for having me. I love doing things with you. So I do the horror stories, CPS, the horror stories. And as Erin said, I interviewed her first. The reason I do this show, or my show, and now with her, is I too am a victim of CPS. In 2015, my children were taken illegally. I have so much that I want to say that it's coming out all in one word. I feel very hyper at the moment.
That happens with every single parent because nobody listens to us. So
Right.
when we have a chance or we have a platform, it's just like blah 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 blah.
You're right. That is it. And I haven't really been on this side of the camera, so to speak. So it's different. But so yes, 2017, my children were illegally and wrongfully taken.
Seized.
Yes.
Seized is the word that we're using these
Okay.
days because how taken is like, okay, taken, but when you hear seized, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Mr. McMillan told me that.
Okay. Do you ever, so we know what that word is. But I'm just curious.
That's like the legal definition. That's what you're supposed to be using is seized. So mine was a legal seizure of my daughter.
How are you spelling it? Is it CEASED or SI?
Like when you seize? Yes.
Like a seizure?
Yes. Not like when you're seizing when you have epilepsy. So, my daughter was removed without a warrant 2 months after my visit to my home, where they said they had no safety concerns. Now I'm gonna play a bit of that because I have my whole thing recorded on video.
Right.
But they said, "We have no safety concerns, Erin, congratulations. We have no safety concerns." 2 months later, at first I thought it was a month, and then I went back and looked. It was 2 months. Then they removed her based on that interview where they said my daughter was living in a dog bed. She was being abused, like the worst, most horrible things you could think of, they said. And I was like, "Wait a minute."
Crazy. And they come in, I said, "Isn't it crazy?"
Oh.
And they come into your life as sometimes like a friend, and hey, you can trust us and we're here for you, and like you said, you're doing great, doing everything that you need to be doing, you're an amazing parent, and then all of a sudden things are flipped and you're, am I allowed to like use a word, like you're
fucked.
Yes, and you're a piece of shit parent.
Yeah. I mean, they gave me a literal round of applause. And then 2 months later, they removed her because I was so dangerous and abusive and I was on drugs. Like every horrible thing you could think about, they said. And I said, "No, I have you guys recorded. So you sure you want to go this route?" And because that happened, I never got increased in my visitation. I never got unmonitored. I never got overnights. And it's because I fought back or I stood up for myself. I stood up for myself is more like it.
Yes.
They hid my 7:30 evaluation because it was beneficial to me.
Right.
And in my 730 evaluation, it says, none of these accusations are true. Everything is based upon what father says. That's it. So,
Why? Here's my question.
mhm,
Why, when the person that ends up with the child or children,
mhm,
when they say negative things about us,
mhm.
why do they get believed? I don't
So,
that
so
I
this
don't
I figured it out.
okay.
So I figured this out in my own case. So the reason that the abuser, or I mean, I guess abuser for the lack of the better word, um
Kidnappers.
because they're narcissists and they're
Oh,
only focused on themselves. So when my daughter was being driven around by a babysitter that was smoking a doobie, I complained about it, and they were like, "Oh, she's just obsessed with him because Mario, all he did was himself, himself, himself." Well, that's what narcissists do, and that's what they're great at. So it looks like all they care about is their growth and their development and their plan and the kid. When in actuality, it's all about them. And if you have any legitimate concerns, you get branded, "Oh, she's obsessed with him
yes.
still," and blah
You're
blah.
stalking them,
Yes, no, and
harassing.
I knew that was coming in my case, so I hired a private investigator to follow
Mm,
me around to record my comings and goings in, the DCFS office, because you can't record inside. You can't
right.
record inside. I did. You can't record inside, but you can record outside. I knew deep down that someone was gonna say something, so I hired a private investigator. You can have a friend or family member do it. Just record you walking in and walking out of the building, because they said that I was harassing people. I was harassing my
Mhm.
husband, I was harassing the babysitter, and I said, "Not true. What time? What day?" "Oh, well, it's all the time." Well, give me a
Mm,
date.
love it.
They gave me a date, and I was like, "Here's the video." They didn't know that from the jump that I was recording my comings and goings, because I know my husband, or excuse me, my ex-husband, and
Mhm.
I knew how it was gonna go down. So, I recorded, and then they pissed them off, so I never got increased visitation.
I did not either. And for the exact same reason. And you are
Mhm,
so correct. They are narcissists. Everybody
mhm,
in my case that was trying to take my kids was a
mhm,
narcissist. My mother, which is the person who had them and who took them from the beginning, and then
mhm.
my husband. And what's crazy is the reason that my mom, it's even in the court documents.
I can't get over it was your own mother. I
I
still,
know.
after all this time.
The reason my mom stated that she took my kids
Mhm.
was because I could not protect them from their father. That's just one thing, along with, of course, I'm a drug addict, never touched a drug in my life. Um,
You have health concerns, you couldn't even if you wanted to.
right, and I'm getting tested literally every week, and
Oh,
I have
I was going at sometimes I had to go 2 or 3 times a week because it was random, so they would call me and they're like, "You better be in here in 30 minutes."
well, but this is by doctors, like, and nurses, and I had home health. I was on hospice 3
That's right,
times
that's right.
in a couple of years.
Mhm.
Um, I sent you a video earlier. Did you get it?
I did. I'm trying to transfer it over so we can
I
share
wanna
it.
I'm gonna show you it on here as well, if
Okay.
that's okay with you. But before I do that, my question though, yes, I know they're narcissists, but why are they being believed over us when you can see how the
Because
whole thing
be
transpires?
because what happens is it is high school all over again. It's a popularity contest. If you have a smart mouth, or if you know, don't believe what they do, or you have a difference of opinion, that is grounds for them to not like you. So, I I knew this is going to sound really, I don't care. This doesn't sound weird, but I knew that I was going to have a problem with the lady that came to take my daughter, or that came to do my interview. I knew the moment I looked at her that her and I were going to have a problem. And it was because of the way that I look and the way that she looks. There was like instant like judgment, and she was turning her
Jealousy.
nose up at me. And then to come to find out, there was some inappropriate behavior and relationship between my husband and the woman that took away my daughter.
That
Um,
part I still can't believe about your case. Like every time I hear it, it still like gives me goosebumps and the hair on my neck stands up and it's just unbelievable.
the whole thing is unbelievable. I don't understand how it can happen. I don't understand why it happened. Um, I can't believe that my husband did that to me. And oh wait, it worked. Here's my interview. Er,
I never saw it.
Has he ever attempted in front of her?
Can you turn it up?
yeah.
Got it.
Well, this is loud. What's going on?
Who are you
Oh, there's
talking about? Who
oh,
flatlined?
my husband. My husband.
Good.
So there's me and the two social workers.
Good. Well, it looks like you're doing everything you need to do for you and for her. So, like I said, I don't have any safety concerns. Your sister's here, so I can walk out the house and be like, this girl's gonna be okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No safety concern. I attempted suicide. Is why they took that.
Okay. Has he ever attempted in front of her? Okay.
What was he hospitalized for?
Attempted suicide.
He was?
Oh yeah. So
Oh.
I found him dying, and I did CPR for 4 minutes on him, and I saved his life. And we rallied around him, and we had family support. And then he had been secretly setting up his own life behind my back, pretending that we were good and happy and wonderful. And then one day he went to get cigarettes and never came back. He had set himself up a whole different life. He had an apartment. He abandoned me and our 4 children, and I drove to his place and I saw him with another woman. And so I drove back home to where we lived as a family. I broke in and I called him on FaceTime, and he encouraged me to take more pills. So I have video of him saying, "Oh, that's not enough. That's not enough." Him and his friends were watching me, and I was crying for help. And you can literally see me start to die. And I don't know why I recorded it. Thank goodness I recorded it. But he had attempted suicide 2 years before that, and checked himself out of the hospital without doctor's permission. Like, he was in a coma. He took so much medicine. He was in a coma. They had to put him into a coma for 2 weeks. And when I said, wait a minute, you're taking away my child because I attempted suicide. My daughter was not even with me. She was with my sister. He watched me overdose and didn't answer the phone when my parents called. And the next day he pretended like he didn't know what happened. And
Oh, Aaron, I don't know why your story hits me every time.
um I I don't know if it's the betrayal, of someone you're supposed to trust.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing a documentary on this, and I will show my suicide video in that documentary. Um, I've only watched it once, and it's very traumatic. And I'm extra, okay? So my suicide letter, it's not funny, but it's funny to me, was a line from Shakespeare. And then I had music playing in the background because that helps me like calm down. And it's just I'm just dramatic, obviously. I mean, this is my bedroom. But so I started to paint because I couldn't deal with the trauma that was inflicted from being my daughter being ripped away. I by my husband, who actually got a restraining order against me. But the day he went to the court to get it, he had sex with me before he went to court. And then he had sex with me for 5 days after until I was served by the sheriff. So he did that so he didn't have to pay alimony. So you don't have to pay alimony to somebody that you have a restraining order against. So you don't have to pay your abuser. So he's used that to get better standing with CPS. Actually, CPS physically took him to get the restraining order against me. The whole time they were telling him what to do, where to go. And Leah, I see your message. I did talk to, sorry guys, I talked to Brian, and I will text you after the show. Leah is one of my most wonderful favorite clients. Her story is insane, and when she's ready, she's going to come on and tell her story. But before I get sidetracked, I had a client today. They removed her baby, and they sent the warrant by text message.
What?
Yes. The baby's still in the hospital. The mother is still in the hospital. Text message. A text message. I can't get my brain around it. But I think you froze. There you go. Just send a text message.
You know that is that's how I was notified as well. A text telling me I can't see or talk to my kids. Did I ever tell you that?
No, I didn't know that. I thought I was like, this is ridiculous. You're going to send me a fucking text message? What if I don't get the message?
Right. I was in the hospital and had no service. You were in the hospital too? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That was so weird. So was I.
So I was, when my daughter was taken, I was diagnosed with stress-induced Crohn's disease, depression, obviously, separation anxiety, and broken heart syndrome. So I was literally in the hospital. My heart was not pumping enough blood to my head, and I was passing out. My heart was basically giving up.
Right.
And I missed a court date because I was literally in the hospital. Dying from a broken heart from the removal of my baby.
I was also in the hospital and missed my first court hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My turn. I'm going to show you my video.
Yes.
Just a little setup background here. My mother had my children and recorded this video. Very proud of herself. When I sent this video to the social workers to review, they said they were not going to look at it because they didn't want to have to investigate further. When I did report other things that I had proof of, such as my 4-year-old son running across a busy intersection. How was I there? Why was I there? I was in the area of my daughter's school because my friend that I went to church with was picking up his daughter. And I said, hey, don't park too close to the school. I don't want to have any problems. Mind you, there was nothing on me that said I wasn't allowed to be there, anything like that. I was not on the premises, not on the, I was in a car across the street, on a street, and I'm looking at my phone. I think I had my feet up on the dash, and my friend goes, and jumps forward. And I was like, what? And we see this little boy, very little, running across the sidewalk. And I'm like, where are the parents? It just looked wrong. And then the boy gets up to the crosswalk. It turns green, and the crossing guard goes to take her step, and the boy darts out. And you see the crossing guard trying to grab him and run after him, but he is just running across. Still no adult. Guess who that child was? My son.
I don't know. I would have jumped out of the car and grabbed my child out of the street and probably went to jail.
So when I reported all of this,
Mm-hmm.
it got flipped on me.
Oh yeah, you're stalking your
I was
children.
stalking them
Mm-hmm.
and harassing. And that's not even everything. So, like, what
Mm-mm.
about the time that they showed up to a visit 45 minutes away from where they lived and there are no car seats?
That happened in my case too. They didn't give a shit.
No. And instead of calling the cops, like I very well could have, I parked behind my mother.
I can't get over it's your mother.
No. And I said, you go get a car seat.
Mm-hmm.
Have someone bring it. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not allowing you to put my children in this vehicle without a car seat. So here you go. Hold on.
Yeah, my daughter was given it. And that's okay.
So, couple things about this video. Number one, they're flying down the freeway in a vehicle.
Yes.
Number two, no car seats. My children are 4 and 6. My niece was also 4. Number three, yes, my kids have ADHD, but never in my life.
It's almost like she amped them up. It's a to me.
You're right. But with what? That wasn't sugar.
Was I don't know. Let's be crazy for mommy and send her a video. That's the kind of thing I'm getting.
I even showed them
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, they hardly even remember. And they were like, we've never acted like that. And I'm like, there's something. They had to have been on something. I'm serious.
Did they do a medical examination, a forensic on your children?
Like after that time, or what do you mean?
When they were removed. You know, that really invasive, really unconstitutional doctor checkup?
No.
I think that my child had one, and I'm waiting for my delivered service logs to come again to check. Because I'm suing them. I'm suing them.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest daughter is suing them under the First Amendment, and my son is suing them because of the removal of their sister. And one of the things they're not supposed to do is that forensic medical examination, because it's so invasive, unless there is like crazy sexual abuse. Not an allegation, but like abuse.
Can you like go into detail on what that is, like what it entails? Because I'm
well, they would say, for instance, they will make the child bend over and they'll look inside their little bum. They'll look inside the vagina. They'll look at their little my son called it sour Skittles in his pickle. You know, their penis and his testicles. They'll look in the child's orifices.
What are they looking for?
Signs of abuse. They're not allowed to just go randomly snooping through your home or your
Wait. They do that without you there?
Yes, they do it without even alerting parents sometimes. They if you get a particularly nasty caseworker, they're going to subject you and your children to the most permanently traumatizing, invasive doctor's appointments.
Oh my gosh,
psychiatrists.
I'm emotional right now.
It's yeah.
My daughter was in this heavy therapy And you know what is crazy is that the therapist allowed my mom to sit in during the meetings, and my mom would talk the majority of the time. And then that, because they worked very close with CPS, that was the report that would go forth
So
to the
that's
judge.
another thing. I am also suing the therapist in my case because she violated my HIPAA rights. And so when you have your therapy, your court ordered personal therapy that they want you to do, they have to submit a report. Basically, what the report should only say is, did Aaron participate? Did Aaron show up on time? Did Aaron, you know, have, is she benefiting? That's it. They're not supposed to go into what is talked about at all. There's no details. So, no talking about what grandma and grandpa did on the weekends, no talking about their feelings, no talking about my feelings, how I'm feeling toward my ex-husband. None of that is allowed in. All they're allowed to say is yes, no, yes, no, yes, she's attending. So, other than that, my consent had expired with DCFS with the county, and they didn't realize it. So when this therapist was giving my information back to the county, they were in breach. They had no consent to give any of my information out, whether I attended or not. They should not have sent any of it. And in the report, in one of my hearings, it says, does not we don't want to give Erin her child back, basically, because of therapist's report. The therapist wanted 3 more sessions with me to work on my feelings about my husband, and that I am minimizing my suicide attempt. And I said, no, lady, you are a year and a half after my suicide attempt. I have done, before DCFS came in and took my child away, I did 80 hours of therapy. I did EMDR. I did volunteering at shelters, all on my own. I did therapy with my children because of what I had done. And then they took my daughter away. And I said, I'm not minimizing anything. I have processed it and I have moved forward, and I'm moving forward. And I got really angry with her because the last session that I had with her, before that, I was teaching her how to put eyelashes on. And then all of a sudden, she needs 3 more sessions with me. And then I found out why. So when you go and you have to sign up for your services, at the bottom of your form, all jumbled in there, it says that if DCFS removes themselves from your case, you are still on the hook for X amount of sessions. So even though your case is dismissed and you're no longer in dependency court, you can it's not being shared live. That's weird. Publicly.
What's
Oh,
not being shared?
Oh, it's my settings. I have to go on my other computer. So you're still on the hook for those classes. So she wanted me to pay out of pocket for 3 more sessions at $150 an hour because the county pulled out. And to me, that's conspiracy to commit fraud with the social worker.
Do you know that
So
they made me go to counseling with my mom?
why?
I don't know. So here's the crazy thing. I had to go once a week. And in the beginning, the therapist had like an automatic.
I got to get my plug. I'm listening to you about I don't want my computer to die. So keep going.
Yeah, an automatic. What is the word like toward me? What's that word? Like a judgment. But there's another.
Oh yeah,
word.
she has already had her mind made up about you.
Yes, and this is a male.
Oh, him.
So
Really?
Yeah. Like was so harsh and cold toward me. So then the whole first visit, my mom is like, she's a narcissist. She's a hold on. What kind of liar is there?
Pathological?
There's another word, like it's gonna drive me nuts. But basically, I'm a constant liar.
Yeah, like pathological. You
Yeah,
can't
but
talk.
there was
You're
another word that it's gonna drive me nuts. I'm this liar and I'm crazy and all this stuff, right? So the therapist was like, totally on her side. No, not cynical. My mom says it all the time and it's gonna drive me nuts. But anyways,
that's probably why you don't remember, because you've blocked it.
Yeah. We go back the next time. And literally, so a repeat. My mom can't even focus on the questions that are being asked because she's habitual.
There you go.
I'm a habitual liar.
There, I changed the settings, so now it's publicly everywhere. So, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, it was not on
Facebook. It was only friends only. It wasn't done publicly, and somebody brought it to my attention. Thank you.
Aw.
So there you go.
How can I share it too?
Didn't I send you the link?
You sent me the link to like.
No, I meant the other link to.
I don't think so.
Here, I'll send it to you again.
Okay. So, anyways, she's like repeating everything, you know, I'm a habitual liar and I'm crazy and all of this stuff. And I'm just sitting there and I don't even get a chance to talk.
Right.
So then he asks, what is your like your relationship like? But he said like your intimate, your emotional relationship. Anyways, about me and my mom. And my mom was like, I've taken her everywhere. Thank you. I've spoiled her. I've taken her to all these places. And I forgot how he asked the question. Man, I'm not doing good in this right now. But she just kept repeating like all the stuff that she's done for me. Where did you send it? Oh, right there. Got it. And she's like, I can't have a relationship with her because she's such a effing liar and all this stuff. Woo! And I'm just like laughing because she's not answering the question.
Oh no, they never do. It's always
right. So then
it's always word salad. That's what it's called. Where it's just nonsense.
Yes. So then he keeps asking again, like repeating the question. And she keeps repeating herself. And I look at her and I'm like, no, Mom, that's not what he's asking. Like, what is our emotional relationship like?
Why is that anything to do with anything? Why is that? Obviously, it's not good because my mother had my children removed. So,
right. But it was so amazing at this point. Let me explain why. Because she can't answer it.
Right.
And I look at her and I'm like, we don't
have a relationship.
Yeah, yeah, but like not our like physical, like things that we did, but like our, you know, like
your bond,
like this. Yeah. Like we can sit and talk about whatever, you and I, you know. I didn't have one with my mom. Yeah, she could drop money on me, but that's not an actual relationship. Like, where's the communication? And so I'm like explaining what it is, and she just is like, you know. By the third visit, he finally was like seeing the truth. And he's like, then he figured out who I was.
What I do when I take on clients is I say, we're not going to talk about the other person at all. The other parent does not exist. You're going to focus on yourself only and your child. I don't want, because what they did to me was, I'm not over my husband. I'm not moving forward. I'm obsessed, blah, blah, blah. Even though at this point, I had another boyfriend already, a serious boyfriend who I've been with for 2 years.
Mm.
And they're still trying to play that, oh, she's still in love and she's not over him
Oh my
leaving.
gosh.
Yes,
They did
I'm
that
with
to me
somebody else.
too. They did that to me too with my ex-husband.
It is crazy how generalized, like everybody I talk to, it's like, oh, it happened in my case, it happened in my case. And it's like, why? And they're focusing on mothers and their mental fitness. Mentally ill, she's not mentally fit, because it is broad strokes. It's easy to claim, but it's not easy to prove incorrect. Like, so I think the burden of proof needs to be way higher in dependency court than it is. This clear and convincing evidence bullshit is ridiculous. And the fact that they can introduce hearsay and we can't, the fact that we can't speak at all is ridiculous. But the fact that you can use hearsay to take away my child, but I can't use hearsay to rebut your allegation, makes no sense. So of course we need to change that. I think that if you're going to take someone's child away, you better prove it like you would have to do a murder.
I agree 100%. What
Just
did
my
I do?
opinion. You
What
know.
did I deserve for you to storm in my life
Mm-hmm.
and flip it upside down?
Destroying our children in the process.
Oh, my kids, I've had my kids back for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're not my kids.
No, and we miss so much. So
Oh, yes.
Lola was 5 when she was taken away from me. 5 years old.
4 and 6.
The most like precious time
Mm-hmm.
for our children, and they are ripped away from us. It's mind-boggling.
I after I had my kids back, we were hanging out with a friend. I'm gonna cry again.
It's okay.
And her daughter was like 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like doing this like weird thing. I don't even remember what she was doing, but and I'm like just staring at her. And I
Mm-hmm.
look at my friend and she's like typical 5-year-old. And I was like,
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I don't remember that age.
No, I there was a point in time where I couldn't even go into a grocery store or anything like that. I couldn't, because I still start crying if I hear another baby crying
Yeah.
or
Or
saying mama
mama.
or something. Yeah. I couldn't, when it was time for Christmas, I couldn't go into the stores because I couldn't see all the stuff that I wanted to give my daughter. And then at one point, I didn't even know what she wanted for Christmas anymore. I
Yeah.
didn't know her
You
shoe
don't know
size.
them.
I didn't know her shoe
Right.
size. They didn't know my child was hospitalized with COVID and nobody told me.
Do you know my daughter almost died? We didn't know that she was allergic to bees and she got stung in her eye. And nobody told me, by the way. Nobody. All I got was a picture of my daughter's face, swollen shut, eyes, her whole face. She was not recognizable at all.
Stop it.
I swear, her throat swelled up and everything. Almost died.
I had a client whose child did die, and they didn't tell the parent that the child had passed away for 4 days. 4 days. Mhm. So it's like,
Oh my god.
I don't want to say we're not special or unique in this world of DCFS or CPS.
No.
Unfortunately, there are thousands of us, And there's new data showing
Hundreds of thousands.
hundreds of thousands of us. There's new data that shows that even if there is abuse in the home, it's more traumatic to remove them than to leave them.
Yes.
The scientific data is finally catching up to mothers have literally, we are still connected to our children, even though they are 5, 10, 20, 32 years old. We are still on a cellular level. We are still connected. Fathers are too. So when you're coming in here and taking away my child, you're not only altering me and my physical being and my heart, you're altering and permanently damaging and changing my child
It is like ripping
on a whim.
your body parts off of you. Do you know? So when I got my kids back, okay, let's jump to when I would have my visits, and you know this.
Mhm.
They had even stopped my visits for a little while because I cried.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not there, have
So
any
I'm going to
emotion.
be arrested. I'm going to be arrested if I cry.
But how do you not cry when your children, your babies, that I personally breastfed and bathed and
Mhm.
held from day one? How do you not cry when they're pulling your hair, ripping your clothes, hanging onto you with their claws and every bit of the strength that they have and screaming, "Mommy, please don't leave me,
And
don't
someone's
leave me."
pulling them off of you.
And somebody's pulling them off of you, and you are told to turn the fuck around and walk away.
Do you know how hard it was for me not to punch somebody in the fucking face when that happened?
Mm-hmm.
Because it goes against our nature. When
Yeah,
someone is pulling on my child and my child is screaming for me, as
mama.
a mother, as a human being, my instinct, I'm a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not I head on confrontation always. So I got in fist fights in school when I was a kid. I didn't like anyone being bullied. So you are asking me, and I am forcing to go against my nature to protect my daughter from a stranger. I don't care if you're my caseworker, you are a stranger
My mother.
pulling on my kid,
My
my
mother.
grandma. I still can't get over. I cannot get over that
Look
your
at
mother
the
did that.
animal kingdom. Tell me what mom animal doesn't protect their child when anything is threatening them. Tell me.
Every single creature, every single mammal on this planet is affected when their offspring, their children, are removed from them.
Yes, in any
Every
shape or form.
single
Mhm.
mammal on the planet. So you want me, and I did it. I turned around.
Yep.
I fell apart in the car. Don't fall apart in front of your children.
Right. But
Our
then it
children,
makes them question you
no,
also.
no. This is what you do. So I figured it out pretty quickly. When my son had
Oh,
chemotherapy, he my son had cancer um from time he was 5 till he was 12. And I realized that our children look to us on how to act.
right.
So if I'm being strong and stoic, when it's time for him to get chemo, he will be too. So if you're falling apart, then your kid's going to fall apart. So I would tell my daughter every single day that I loved her and that I was never going to stop fighting for her and that this was hard on me too, but we were going to get through it and to be brave. And then at the end of a visit, I would say, all right, let's meet in our dreams tonight. Instead
Yep.
of saying, I'll see you
That's
next
so
week.
funny. I did that too. I
Yeah.
love that we both did that.
Every night. This is
Mhm.
because then she knows that I'm actively fighting for her. She knew
Right.
that I loved her and I wanted her. She knew that we were in this and there was no kind of exit. We just had to go through it. And they tried telling her I was sick for 3 months and that's why she didn't see me. And so me and my daughter and I wrote a book. We have a children's book coming out. A manual, how to for kids in dependency court and supervised visitation. Because they didn't
I
yes, they're
love that.
children. Yes, they're children, but they're still people and they can still comprehend. And I know that I was confused. I don't know what the hell they told my child.
Right.
So and nobody tells you what to do or how to behave or how to act or how to respond.
Right. We
So
should do something like that.
that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I have a book coming out, a manual, a how-to for parents, and then you and I we're working
Oh
on some
yes,
good
the
things.
reunification. Sorry.
No. So Cynthia and I are working on some stuff
Yes.
to help you guys, and I think this is probably a good point to kind of wind it down so we can introduce this, but because my cord's not working and my computer's gonna die. So but
but I just wanted to share it really fast.
Yes.
The last thing.
Yes.
So my son is 10 and my
Mhm.
daughter is 12, almost 13. Do you know that I still can't leave out of their sight for after like 30 minutes? If they're not like with another adult, and they know I'm coming back, right? My
Mhm.
example was that I ran into Target. They had a phone,
Mhm.
they had the keys to, you know what I mean? Everything
Yep.
was fine. I was not abandoning them or anything. But I got a phone call that my son was having a panic attack. A major.
Mhm.
Couldn't breathe.
Yep.
I rushed out to the car and I'm like, what happened? And he goes, you didn't come back.
Mhm.
You left me.
Yep. Our children are permanently traumatized from this.
Yes.
We can lessen the sting. We can make it so it doesn't hurt as much as time goes by, like it's a movie that we watched once, but the damage is permanent. And then if they can successfully alienate you from your children, it's even worse.
Yep.
So Cynthia and I can teach you how to keep your bond with your children.
Yes.
We
Lots
can
of ways to practice.
Yes, we can teach you how to behave in court, how to dress in court, because you think that they don't judge you, but they do. How to respond to your caseworker, how to respond to a judge. So we can help you with that. We have some announcements that are going to be coming down the line in a little while, but both of us know what it's like to go through this, and if I can help one family get their child back, then my experience has been worth it.
Correct.
And I know that I have helped around 75 families at this point. I can testify in court on your behalf. We have reunification classes and a whole bunch of stuff. I'm starting to gush and I have to like hold it in. But so I don't have anything else to say because then I'm gonna start spilling secrets. So if you
I'm so grateful and I'm thankful for this journey that we've started and been on and going to continue to go down.
And we will be doing this regularly.
Yes.
I know how expensive, how many attorneys did you take for you to find somebody to help you?
50.
25. And it's not cheap.
In communication with them. The second they look at my case, they're like, it's too complex and too much.
Well, nobody wants to deal with it because CPS has no rules. They have there is ways you can discipline them and we can help you with that. And there's ways you can discipline judges and all of that stuff. So let's do that one next week.
Okay.
How to hold them accountable.
Yes, I love it.
Okay.
And what to document.
Exactly. Document.
Yep.
Don't talk to them on the phone and don't open your door.
Correct. All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night.